Здравейте, здравейте, момци и моми, другари и другарки. Това е епизод 3 от поредиците ми на The Outer World, Peril on Gorgon. Продължаваме там, откъдето бяхме свършили и да говорим с този
Alright,
бабаит.
inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now.
Keep looking into his eye.
Good. Look up. Now look down.
Look up, look down.
You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation.
Blake, captain of Нека,
Good
Скол.
enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
What did you mean when you said people had changed?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
What happened when people changed?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
Кофти. Тоест, с други думи, стават зомби. Аз така си го обяснявам. What exactly am I?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs.
Добре.
We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Let me ask something else.
Just don't ask me to dance.
Dance for me. What do you do around here?
Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
That's us. And I thought this place was going to be fun.
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt.
What kind of people come to the Sprat Shacks?
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
What do you know about Gorgon?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects. Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Okay.
Watch yourself out there.
Мерси. Закихал съм си яко аз. Не е готино.
Smell that? Cheap whiskey and stale cigarettes. My kind of place. Oh, ugh. This place smells like Felix's birth.
Whoa.
Are you my agent on the ground?
Sorry?
I've been sent to meet a certain someone about a certain piece of merchandise. They're supposed to use a secret code phrase.
Can't help you. I'm just here to drink.
That's the code phrase. It is you.
Quiet down. You're making a scene.
You here for salvage or merchandise?
Watch your step. Von Hoffman sees everything.
Ти,
This
Неше?
rock ain't much to look at, but it's our rock.
Don't forget to close your tab before you head out.
You're a humbug, Trixie, and worse, a thief.
I can't steal what's lawfully mine, you tangle-footed dimwit.
We're all friends here, even when we ain't. I've heard more than enough.
О, не се сърди, човече. Яко. Ще говорим с тия Трикси, Дикси и Микси.
I may have been overserved.
Първо искам да ги чуя тия
Quit
неизвестните.
staring. I ain't here for your entertainment.
Здрасти, Маска.
Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I
Добре,
won't even
заварила.
water it down. What'll it be?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good, thanks.
So, you just wandered in for the genteel conversation. Suit yourself. I assume you're here for salvage.
Not exactly, but can you explain what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you
Most
mean?
of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
You know anyone by name Lucky Montoya?
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy. Heard he took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
Did he tell you anything about the job?
I don't ask about jobs unless people want to make it my business. And Lucky wasn't talking. Awful shame about what happened to him.
What happened?
You really want to hear my story? Law, most everyone around here is sick to death of it by now.
Да, ние
Last
сме
I
нови.
saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off.
Go on.
Get this, the canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
How do you know it belonged to Lucky?
I'm a bartender. Attention to detail is my middle name. Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne.
That's me. Kind
Did
of.
some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon Parcel Service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
The arm made it to me. I'm Harton next of kin, sort of.
No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days. I'm glad I was here to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle.
Why bother sending the arm at all?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
Where was Lucky staying?
3rd floor. Once I figured he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind. Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Just wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
Да видим първо какво има за трейдване.
I'll set him up. you knock him back.
Melee skills, leadership. Диалог, не. Snake damage. Това е яко, между другото. Snake attack damage 25 хак. Плюс 5 хак, плюс хак. Не ни оправя. Не ни оправя, защото на нас ни трябва плюс 6 хак, за да се случат нещата. Ние плюс 5 имаме. Добре, продължаваме да си.
The drinks aren't going anywhere.
Продължаваме да разследваме. What do you know about Gorgon?
Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrenatime came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day.
Would any of your regular have more information about the Gorgon?
Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. I trust him well enough. There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
What's Roscoe's story?
He's been here since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist. He got left behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him.
Poor bastard. You looking out for him.
Roscoe's drinks are on the house. We all know how it feels to get left behind. He'll be all right. He's with the family now, and we take care of our own.
Why'd he get left behind?
He didn't tell me, and I didn't ask. I'm his bartender, not his human resources rep.
Okay.
If you believe the chatter, a lot of good folks got left behind, and a lot of bad folks made it out. Sometimes that's all there is to it.
What can you tell me about Leonora?
Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone.
Nice.
She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone. If you're open to a side gig.
Do you know if she spoke with Lucky Montoya at all?
Now that you mention it, I thought I saw those two sharing stories over a pint. Didn't think twice about it. I don't speak ill of the dead, but Leonora deserves better company. That Lucky was no good for her.
Haha. Thanks for the
What
tip.
are friends for, eh?
Any idea why Spacer's Choice shut Gorgon down?
I doubt anyone knows the full story. One day the evacuation order went out. Grunts and lab coats scrambled to get anywhere but Gorgon. And the weirdest thing of all, Adrenatime still hit the market. Me, I never touched the stuff. To each their own, but I think it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Dangerous. Scavenger must be making a fortune of Gorgon.
Damn right we are. We've got drugs, scrap metal, prototype weapons, drugs, money, and more drugs.
No
When
drugs.
Spacer's Choice evacuated, everyone dropped their gear and ran. Most of it stayed where it fell, and all of it is up for grabs. Of course, the real treasure is whatever's locked up in the old facility. Until someone figures a way to crack it open, we're just sifting through dirt.
Познай кой ще...
You got it, bub.
Познай кой ще го отвори и познай кой ще ви спаси от това, което излезне. Или спи там. So you're on this place?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge.
So what owns the Sprat Shack now?
Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea.
dare I ask, why a Sprat owns this bar?
See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
You know, they do something similar in Byzantium. Fancier system, but same idea.
You think a Sprat could own Edgewater? Oh, imagine one wearing Mr. Thompson's little hat!
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
How would you even know which Sprat is the right one?
Easy. His name's Matt. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
I guess I'll try not to step on him if I happen by groundbreaker.
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. The Sprat Shack's gone through a lot of title holders over the years. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters.
Those Spacer choice mind that you're squatting their warehouse.
Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
Can you answer any question without starting with yes and no?
Yes and no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
Okay. How do you get supplies in and out?
Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony. Mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well connected. And not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well stocked with the essentials, by which I mean booze. Good.
Добре,
I've got paying
айде.
customers.
Сега да разгледаме. Тук имаше ни други Трикси и Фредди.
That was my salvage, Trixie. You had no right to it then, and you've no right to it now.
What's going on here?
A disagreement between professionals. None of your business.
I risked my life sneaking around Marauders to claim that wreck. And I didn't see your name on it.
Now you've done it. Eat fist!
All right, that's enough! This is a family establishment! You want to make a mess? You make it outside!
But this was personal, Lex. It's a question of salvage. That wreck was gonna make me a fortune.
You get a lot of tavern squabbles around here.
It's the same fight every day. 5 years we've been at this, and we still can't agree on how to properly tag salvage. Now you two listen, this is my place. While you're in the Sprat Shack, you'll sit quietly, or I'll forbid you to come here at all. Is that understood?
Fair's fair. I'll have a stout, and we'll settle this later on our own terms.
It's no good to leave a fight unresolved. If I don't do something, these two are gonna be at each other's throats.
I could intervene if you like.
You'd do that for me?
Sure. Sure. It's kind of what I do for everyone.
I appreciate it all the same. You'll be paid for your time and expertise, of course. Freddy, Trixie, go on and make your case to the generous stranger.
I'll start, seeing as I'm the one who's been most wronged in this equation.
Go on.
So, just up the road and due east of here, there's a shipwreck lodged in the mountainside, right? I staked my claim on that wreck. Then I wandered in for a drink. An hour later, Trixie swaggers in bragging about her salvage. Ugh, the nerve of some people.
How did you mark the claim?
I climbed on top of it and called out in my loudest voice, "Finders keepers!"
Turn to Lex. Is that legal?
I don't know about legal, but it's legit by sublight standards. Assuming anyone was around to hear it, which we can't know for sure.
Someone must have heard me. They just ain't brave enough to step forward and admit it.
What's your side of the story, Trixie?
When I found the shipwreck, there were no salvage mark. See, the whole area was teeming with bloodthirsty marauders. So I snuck around and added my tag, clear as day, so no drunken idiots could claim the salvage out from under me, Freddy.
For the record, when I heard the marauders coming, I left. Trixie must have set her mark down after me.
You had your chance to talk.
Sorry, I won't speak out of turn again.
Anyway, that's my story, sir.
What mark did you leave on the salvage, Trixie?
I drew an X in the dirt, with my toe.
Couldn't the murderers have walked it over it by now, or the wind blew it away?
Wouldn't surprise me in the least, but that doesn't mean it ain't mine.
In all my years, I've never heard a more contentious argument. I don't envy your shoulders for bearing the weight of responsibility. You've heard it from them both. So, who gets the salvage?
По принцип 3 е най-правилното нещо. Че те идиоти назад как да си заплюват плячката. Не, ще кажа, че this is don't know how to take salvage. So I rule in no one's favor.
That ain't no kind of fair.
He ain't even from around here, Lex.
Here's a 6-pack on the house, plus your fee. Maybe now we'll finally get some peace around here for a change.
Got to be of service. See you around. Does this happen often?
A little too often if you ask me, but that's the sublight way. Anything worth doing is worth fighting over.
Got to be of service. See you around.
Come and chat if you're ever feeling thirsty.
We could always go back and rile him up again later.
That's my captain.
No, it went down. False alarm.
It's been a day, let me tell you.
Добре. Добре, тези брони. О, тук има път назад.
Did you bring the paper?
I don't know.
Чакай да седем, защото не знам какво ще се случи. Не, няма да крадеме. Не и от Лекс. Ние по принцип от никой не крадеме, но от Лекс е пълен абсурд. Не, сега няма да отключим това, защото само ще загубиме ресурсчето, което вече не си спомням как се казва.
Who do you work for anyway?
Скачиме на горен етаж, поне да разгледаме.
I
То се
wouldn't get too close to that
видя очите.
railing, just in case. Jerome will love this place.
То се вижда, че и този епизод
Why'd
ще
you want to
бъде
meet here anyway?
само приказки и още няма да видим екшън, но какво да се прави. Това е част от тези игри и сме да твърда интересна част.
I'm just a clerk now.
Just a clerk. Come on. Where's your sense of adventure?
Oh, fine. At least buy me another round. Make it two. Gotta find my courage. This is the best joint in the system. Ain't that right?
This is a family business.
Добре.
Look sharp.
Здравейте, мадам. Ало, и с вас ще
You
трябва да
don't
говорим.
look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've
Защото не
got the
съм.
look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey is far from over.
О, да. Само като гледам още колко трябва да си говорим с тебе, направо лошо ми става. What makes you say that?
Confidence. The scavengers around here, they're faking it. You're the real deal. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the marauders would eat me alive.
Depends on what you need.
Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress.
Cut to the chase. This something must be valuable.
It is to me, but apparently it's junk to Sublight. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
Where's Jerome now?
Nowhere good, that's for sure. In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
Respectful. Браво на Джером, така трябва. So, what bring you back to Gorgon?
A broken heart, that's what. This place is greedy. Took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
What do you think happened to Jerome?
No point in denying it. He died on this rock, likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it.
I could keep an eye out of the for that flask.
You'd really do that for me?
Да, защо не?
Law. And I'll bet you're worth 10 of those Sublight sprats. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
I want to ask you something first.
Yeah?
Did you know Wookie Montoya?
That old flirt? Yeah. I let him buy me a drink or two. He talked my ear off about exciting jobs he'd done. All lies, I'm sure. He fell asleep with his head on my shoulder. That man had baggage like you wouldn't believe. I didn't think anyone could be lonelier than me.
Did he mention anything about Gorgon research facility?
He bragged about having the key to some sort of maintenance area in one of the old buildings. I never saw it, so I just assumed he was talking himself up. He also asked if I wanted to see something gross and slimy he kept in his room, but I declined, politely.
Was he depressed?
He put on quite a front, but I think he was weary. Like he'd seen too much and had too little to show for it. Guess we were kindred spirits in a
Този
way.
епизод ще го направим найде по-дълъг. That's all. Thank you for the time.
Sure thing. My condolences if you two were close.
Tell me about your time on Gorgon.
The lab coats kept quiet about the project, but the air was charged with excitement. You could feel it wherever you went. They wanted to change the world. A tenfold boost to worker productivity with no side effects? Who wouldn't salivate at the thought?
Яко.
I don't know what went wrong, but when the shit hit the fan, it sprayed everyone in its path, including me.
Да. Естествено, нещо се объркало и сега си имаме зомбита. Опитвам се да преминем максимално бързо. Тия какви са? Бар патрон, бар патрон.
Huh, who's this now? Wonder if they could... Nah, who am I kidding?
Исках да мога да ги взема тия неща, но за жалост не мога. Аз трябва да...
What's the story with this place anyhow?
Used to be a shipping warehouse. Supplies came in, deadly chemicals went out.
Who told you that?
I worked here back in the day.
You're pulling my leg.
No, it's true. Watch your step.
Добре.
Von Hoffman sees everything.
Къде си е? Това ли си? Ето.
Holy shit, a fresh face. Haven't seen your like in years. Don't know what brought you to the most dangerous corner of this solar system, pal, but you're welcome here.
Поговорим с този и продължаваме да разглеждаме на третия етаж.
You wouldn't guess to talk to her, but that lady's got a mean left hook.
Да. I'll talk to her. She mentioned you're some kind of journalist.
Some kind. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Got into reporting thinking I was gonna be some sort of public intellectual. What a joke. Spent 95% of my time playing stenographer to the board, and the rest writing puff pieces on the chairman's latest beard trim. Real life and death shit.
It seems like you're having a rough time. Can I help you?
If you're going back out there, do you think you'd be willing to do an old bastard a small favor?
Details first, promises later.
Told you I was a journalist, right? I was here on a story back when Project Gorgon was active. I was doing an interview series for Spacer's Choice. Recorded them all on these little portable phonographs. But when everything fell to shit, Spacer's Choice wouldn't let me leave. Terms of my reporting contract unmet, they said.
You hid them, and now you need me to get them for you. That's about cover it.
Right on the money. Look at me, I'm no fighter. I've never even touched a gun. But you're just the right amount of rough around the edges. Help me get my recordings back so I can finally get the hell out of here.
Why stash the recordings?
Someone had been trying to steal them since the day my assistant and I started interviewing. Couldn't even keep them in my safe. They always found a way in. So I took to hiding them all over the fucking asteroid. Thought I was so clever. What a fool I was.
You mentioned an assistant. Where are they now?
Oh, Georgie? Yeah, she helped me with interviews. A real whiz with the portable recorder tech, too. When things got crazy, I shoved her onto the last ship off Gorgon. With any luck, she's safe and comfortable in Byzantium.
Super.
She tried every which way to stay, but it was my contract keeping us here, not hers. Didn't seem fair she'd have to suffer just because I made a bad deal.
Why not just forget the contract and leave?
Oh, I've tried. Make no mistake. I've caught a couple of rides out with sublight folks, but the board's fixers always send me right back. And I'm not about to stand toe-to-toe with marauders just to fulfill a line item on a contract.
It's your rookie day, Roscoe. I'll get those recording for you.
No shit? That's downright civilized of you. All right. One of them I stashed in the Office of Creative Incubation, in the projector room on the 3rd floor. I gave another to my friend Birdie to keep in her apartment, just outside OCI's upper entrance.
Right there.
Seems like a good idea at the time. Someone had started a fire, folks were shooting other folks. It was a madhouse.
Got it. Next.
You'll find another in the chem lab. It's in the main lab storage room.
Alright, easy enough. The orders.
The final one is in human inquiry and auditing. It's tucked behind a pipe in observation room B.
Трябваше да го питам, мисля, че ще си запази това като въпрос. Трябваше да го питам, че е тичал през цялата планета. Това е планета на целия Горгон, за да ги скрие тия записи. Да обзавесе... Така като стана, право се разбивам. Observation room.
What with the test subjects running loose, the researchers were surprisingly unobservant.
Got it. I will be back.
Strength to your sword arm, friend. And thank you.
Hey,
there you are.
Been
wondering how you were doing. Did you manage to find those recordings?
После за тях. Can I ask you something?
Sure, I'm an open book.
What's the deal with the wiki Montoya?
Nice enough guy. Fashioned himself one of those professional gumshoes, like in the serials. They usually work for the board, rooting out dissidents and the like. Lucky though, he was freelance. Worked for anyone who paid, no matter their allegiance. You ask me, I think the guy just likes snooping around in folks' terminal messages.
Did Wiki tell you anything about his investigation?
Next to nothing. He preferred to keep a tight lid on things, more dramatic that way. Not that he needed to keep secrets. Folks down here don't give two shits about anything but bits and beer.
Sure. Come on, I bet he loved to showing off for a sharp guy like you.
Been a long time since someone tried to butter me up. Can't say I hate it. So sometimes Lucky'd get deep in his cups and start going on about the ghost of Gorgon. But I didn't think anything of it. Guy also liked to say he could pop the cyst off a cysty pig at 100 paces with his eyes closed.
What was Gorgon like in its heyday?
Frenetic, chaotic, vicious, take your pick. I wasn't here at the start, but going off what folks told me about the early days, Gorgon started out with promise. The board's best and brightest were excited to work here, said it was a good posting. The project director had a vision and big, bold ideas.
And then?
Nothing good lasts long in Halcyon. Thing is, the schedules coming out of the corporate office were unrealistic from the get-go, and they were trying to do the project on a shoestring budget. Couple that with the obvious personnel problems and toxic junk in the product, it was only a matter of time before it all went to hell.
Вече толкова ми се спи, че ми е трудно да следа разговора. We must have talked to a lot the stuff here. What were they working on?
Adrenatime. I'm sure you know it. Was a drug, something to make folks work harder, work smarter. Had a lot of nasty side effects. Didn't seem so bad to me at the time, but then I hadn't met the test subjects yet. The whole thing was real hush-hush. A lot of worry about corporate spies, especially from Anti-Cleos. I probably shouldn't even be mentioning it to you, to be honest. Spacer's Choice, they're really not fond of spies.
Who is? Gorgons are real now. What sent it over the edge?
Shit, any number of things. Fire, primals, sabotage. It didn't happen all at once, but it happened fast enough folks couldn't respond in time. Now, if you're asking how it all kicked off, might have been spies that did it. Corporate espionage, you know, Anti-Cleos. I never did figure it out. Not about to try now.
Never mind.
Not a problem. Anything else? Not a problem. Anything else? Of course, I won't be going anywhere, so, you know, take your time.
Тръгваме, че вече наистина много пушава се доспива. И...
What have you got there? Adrena time, I think. I found some in an old busted crate. You're just gonna take
Това ли е на този индивид? Стаята. Така като гледам, що можем да вземем всичко. Да. Окей. Requires code to unlock it. Окей. Секунда. Аз севрах, нали? Та след малко ще се върнем към него, да го гледам тука.
Someone's in here. Oh, lol. It's coming back up again.
Окей, той е припил.
I'm all right. That last one really empty.
Така, тук мисля да сложа край на епизода. Естествено ще си прочета с този документ. И след това ще започнем след да сме го прочели този документ, а на вас ще спра епизода ето тук, за да можете да си го прочетете и вие. И така. Малко бавно стават нещата, но обикновено винаги има някакви такива части в този тип игри, където, примерно, миналия път, като бях в Groundbreaker в началото, 4 или 5 епизода, докато обиколиме всичко и говорим с всеки и видим техните идеи и всеки глупости. Тук абсолютно същото. Така че няма как. Това няма как да се избегне. Пожелавам ви всичко най-хубаво. Чао, чао и до нови срещи.